Hello everyone and welcome back to Boater Plays Something. We were playing the Stanley Parable, and last time we just did one playthrough of the game, and we were dreaming but not dreaming, and I was a crazy person, and then a person that stumbled onto a crazy person, and it was fun. I'm Boater, let's play something. Okay, everything's recording, resume the game.
How long was I sitting there? Stanley wondered to himself. Minutes?
What?
Days? Centuries? Did something crucial happen while my senses were turned? He made a note to be more careful with time from now on.
Yeah, about that. Not an exact mirror, but oh, hold on. Okay, so we're gonna go through the door on the left.
He entered the door on his
413 here. Yeah, okay, cool. So I don't need to bother with the detouring to the right anymore. And meeting room.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office.
Anything different in the broom
hoping
closet?
He might find an answer there. Oh no, no, not again. I won't be part of this. I'm not going to encourage you. I'm not going to say anything at all. I'm just going to be patient and wait for you to finish whatever it is you enjoy doing so much in this room. Please take your time.
Oh, wow. Okay. That was indeterminate amount of time passed. Alright. Okay, so last time we went down and there were no further choices down there. I think... Let me just peek through the door without going through. Yeah, that's the car. The thing is, I wonder if, you know... the definition of insanity, doing the same thing but expecting different results. I wonder if I'll get different results doing the same thing sometimes. Dude, nice to mask. Oh my. Oh my. The door didn't close. Oh, there it is. Excuse me? Great big library. I'm not being told what to do. I don't know what to do. I guess we go into the boss's office.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him.
Ooh.
And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
Tee. Wait,
Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs. Stanley simply began entering random codes into the keypad, knowing full well the sheer statistical unlikelihood that this would ever result.
I forget what he told me the
thing
is.
If he knew that the combo was
2845, okay.
It would be another story entirely. But no, 2845.
Oh my god, in red.
Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
I expected that to start to close behind me, but it's so slow. I guess it's just easier for it to use this. Wow. Ooh. Sparky Sparks. Sparky Sparks. Ooh. There's a load. It's a straight up loading screen. I guess we're getting on with the story.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Well. Okay, now it is feeling very...
Wow! A large door that read Mind Control Facility.
No, I didn't. No, he didn't. Mr. Wizard, get me out of here! Escape! I expected
Although
to close
this
my face.
passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
Okay! Except it'll be like before then and try to like scare me or something.
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track.
Is this endless?
At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
Wahoo! Ah! I was not expecting that. I thought it would just be done.
Into motion, and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise.
Oh! Look at that!
Life had been of no consequence.
Interesting that it was behind a loading screen.
Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. So he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
Oh. Bye-bye!
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal doors. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
Ah! The fuck?
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish? When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless.
Is this a map?
Life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
Office layout. This blueprint shows the office from the beginning of the game. The path through Stanley's office to the two doors was the first part of the game that was built. Sections have been added and altered throughout development. The core layout remains almost identical to the first iteration. Nature paint. This is just like assets. Stanley's computer. Yep, go through there. Corridor. The pacing of this opening session was important to get right. The corridor had to be moved and altered to make sure the player reaches the two doors in good time. The two doors. The set of two open doors was the very first concrete piece of the Stanley Parable's design. Once this room was created, the rest of the game emerged as an extension of it, an exploration of the contradictions this room posed. Filing cabinets, a desk, the office. Button sounds. A selection of sounds used throughout the game when buttons are pressed. Each sound is a mix of keyboard stroke and synthesized tone. Credits. Written and designed by... Wow, okay. And the impeccable Kevin Brighting as narrator. Awesome. I'm not going to read all those, but so thank you everyone that made the game, for making the game. The office. Maintenance room. An early version of the maintenance room. Larger words, words, words. This text. Am I going crazy? Maybe it isn't the same image. Was that clock there before? I don't remember. How do I go back? Can you check for me? September 2012, we submitted the Stanley Parable to Greenlight, Valve's process of approving games for Steam. The Greenlight page had only a series of cryptic photos, which were still enough to win the community's approval. The point of Stanley Parable HD Remix is to win. The point is to lose. These are screenshots. More endings, fewer endings. More narrators, fewer narrators. More Stanley, less Stanley. Oh my, I could just get lost in here. From Marius, a question about fourth into my soul. Am I Stanley? Are you spying on me? I don't. Why? How? Narrator emails. After the second trailer we sent out, we asked people to email the narrator for questions. While we had initially planned to use these in further promotional materials, we never found the perfect use for them. Here are a selection of those emails. Oh my gosh, I'm not going to read all those. That's not right now. The Lounge, an early version of the of this lounge? The Lounge, the employee lounge. Obviously the one that I went with was much better. The apartment timer. Previous version of the choice leading to the apartment ending, a timer would give you 15 seconds to pick up the phone. Not picking up the phone would leave you to a different ending. Interesting. The cargo lift. This second version is functionally the same as what's in the final game, but we wanted it to look more like a place where cargo was actually stored. That looks like Half-Life 1, where this goes like forever. Yeah, okay, cool. The cargo lift. The cargo lift was always intended to offer the choice of staying on or jumping to a different path. However, after this early version, we decided we also wanted the option of the player falling to their death. I didn't try that. I'm gonna have to try that next. Doorway to maintenance in the lounge. Yep. Doorway to maintenance in the lounge and the original back on track option. To confusion ending. Vent. What about this? Two options. Two doorways to maintenance. Maintenance layout. The flow of hallways following the first two doors was important to get right since players will replay them so many times. We discussed the number of designs, but ultimately it was the simplest version that won out. Meeting room. These levers were originally part of the Zending. Players would pull a lever and the narrator would describe what color lever they had pulled. But I can't, oh. The screenshot depicts an early version of the ending known as the Zending, which was eventually cut and merged with another part of the game. Game is now paused. Begin the game again. Resume the game. Options. Return to menu. Escape menu. For a long time, we had an ending that only ended when the player restarted from the escape menu. Unfortunately, very few players realized this is what they were supposed to do, which was frustrating for everyone. Zending model. The Zending went through many iterations. This room represents the fourth version of the ending, and we thought it was complete, but decided to abandon and change it again shortly before launch. This is if I had taken the right... We ran 4 major teaser trailers over the course of the game's development. This is the first one released in May 2012. It features a series of broken rooms and the voice of the narrator. I'm sure it does. Okay. Okay, so I had taken a left at the start, and I thought this was going to wrap back around to there. I'm going to have to go back and like take a right instead. Boss's office. Scenes from the development of the boss's office. I definitely love that middle one, the one that they went with, the nice damask and all that. Office clock. Employee lounge. An early version of the underground part of the game, which, you know, we passed by.
It's the kind of thing you pick up on intuitively if you have even the most...
Voice of the narrator record dialogue for the entire game roughly 3 separate times over 2 years of development. These are clips from earlier takes that were not used in the final game.
The next hour trying to solve it. Here, I'm just going to make this easy.
Okay. Something where to explore this fully, it'd be nice if everything, you know, kind of pulled in on itself. Freedom ending. This was the very first incarnation of the freedom ending in the game's alpha. Oh my. Spoilers, maybe? Countdown desk. One of the desks from an early version of the countdown ending. I don't know what countdown ending is. Monitor room elevator. The elevator in the monitor room can go up or down with freedom above and the countdown below. We abandoned this when players found it too difficult to remember what was up and what was down and placed two endings together instead. An early version of the countdown room. I don't know what that is. Okay. Game design mock-up. This is the level that William, the level designer, sent Davey, the writer, as a kind of audition piece. The strength of the level got William hired to design the full game. Okay, so that's that. That's that. Okay, cool. Up and to the left. I think we're almost done exploring this. Stanley's office. From left to right, the evolution of Stanley's office over time. November 2011, March 2012, and February 2013. Okay, and now I think we can finish up with this ending and get reset. Exit.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free. Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No,
I thought it would just...
perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen.
Are we going to reset?
But listen to me.
What
You
the
can still save these two. You
Ah!
can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let time choose.
Splorch. I mean, I could quit, but I don't really... Unless pressing quit there does something! I'm gonna find out. Unless I have to?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
And it's
Stanley
kind of recessed some
decided
of
to
our
go to the
narration.
meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
I'm just gonna see if quit does anything. I'll skip forward there.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
I was looking forward to Broom Closet shenanigans.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
I got the feeling money's for stealing, but not yours, of course. So that's a lovely purse. Yeah! What are you doing with that panda? Business strategy? No, we're gonna check that other route first. Oh. And we'll check the elevator later.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. What could it mean? Stanley wondered aloud to nobody. He began wildly tearing through papers on the boss's desk, pulling books off the shelf, looking behind paintings, desperate for clues to his situation. But his attention was caught by a keypad behind the boss's desk. What could its purpose be? In fact, this keypad guarded the terrible secret that lay buried below his feet. and so the boss had assigned it. Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming New Age music. Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
Okay, we're gonna press quit when the lady tells us to press quit. Then, next time we'll do that elevator detour, then we'll come back down here.
Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is.
Narrow. I'm going to be made very narrow in a moment.
Like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. So he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
"Farewell, Stanley," cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the
Oh,
enormous...
who plays the other narrator? Who plays this narrator?
In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
Bonk.
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever.
I want to know what this
exactly
geometry looks
did the
like.
narrator think he was going to accomplish? When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless.
Who plays the
making
other
life
narrator?
same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
Doesn't say. It doesn't say! Up and up and up and right. And left.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free. Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen. But listen to me.
Okay.
You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it.
Alright, and nothing more really happens there. Okay. I was kind of hoping that quit would have bring you to like a special version of the menu or something like that. So yeah. Alright guys, so that nice to know that quitting to menu still will impact changes on the game since you've played through with the boarded up broom closet and such. So this is longer than I wanted Stanley Parable episodes to be, but I just needed to see. Next time we're going to go up that elevator in the boss's office and see how it goes. To see that video as well as all other videos, be sure to subscribe down below. That's youtube.com/BoaterBug. Comment, let me know what you're thinking of the playthrough so far. And be sure to share with your friends. You can follow me on Facebook and Twitter.com/BoaterBug and support me on Patreon.com/BoaterBug. Thank you very much for watching. Have a good one, and I'll see you next time.